What's funny is that my brother, he was building a home when I returned, and he was going with a really nice builder out in Alabama. I don't want to name their names, but he invited me to the design session. I almost canceled it. I was tired. They already told us it was going to be about 4 hours, but I went anyway. And long story short, by about hour and a half, I'm sitting there looking at my sister-in-law. She's looking bored, and I'm looking at the lady. I'm like, "Is there no digital way of doing this?" And she says, "No, actually, I get this question all the time." And so, we left 3.5 hours later, 6 hour session. And after doing some more research, I really found out that there truly was no way of doing the manual, tedious task of designing a home.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Micah Johnson, and today I am joined by Tony, who is making some waves in the pre-construction software space. So if you're ready to use some software that makes designing a home as easy as playing The Sims, you're going to want to tune into this. Tony, welcome in, man. Glad to have you.
Hey, Micah, how's it going, man? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well. Thank you. I'm excited for our listeners to hear and take away from what you're really working on for those people that are in that development space that are building 30 or more homes a year.
Great.
So let's dive in. First off, for people who aren't familiar with you, give us the short version and what your main focus these days are and what market you're working in.
Sure. I'm Tony. I'm the chief problem solver over there at Torian Tech. I'm also the owner, but I prefer the first title better. I've been a software developer for about 12 years now. Recently transplanted back to America after being overseas for some time. And since then, I've developed a couple products, but one that I'm really, really harking on is this pre-construction software. And since then, it's been sending me in new directions.
Awesome, man. So let's dig in on that for a second. When you've been in software engineering for 12 years, traveled around some, what was it about the real estate space when you came back that interested you and wanted you to dive deeper?
What's funny is that my brother, he was building a home when I returned, and he was going with a really nice builder out in Alabama. I don't want to name their names, but he invited me to the design session. I almost canceled it. I was tired. They already told us it was going to be about 4 hours, but I went anyway. And long story short, by about hour and a half, I'm sitting there looking at my sister-in-law. She's looking bored, and I'm looking at the lady. I'm like, "Is there no digital way of doing this?" And she says, "No, actually, I get this question all the time." And so, we left 3.5 hours later, 6 hour session. And after doing some more research, I really found out that there truly was no way of doing the manual, tedious task of designing a home. I mean, you've got your custom ways of doing it, but there's nothing that would service someone who's a production builder. So I put pen to code and I made it happen.
Interesting, man. So traveling with your family, seeing that there's actually this need and getting to hear that feedback from them that this doesn't exist, that kind of lines up when you're a software developer.
It was perfect. You don't want to get too giddy. You don't want to take them for their first word, but they're they built so many homes in the area. Like I instantly believed her. And then when I did my own research, it was very fulfilling to say, wow, this is a hole in the market.
So for the For the person that would be interested in using this product, where does it really get applied and what does it help them do?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So this gets applied in the design center phase. A lot of the pre-construction or spec builders, they have like a design studio session. You might have a nice kitchen set up, but within this session, you got all the tiles and cabinets you could ever choose from. We don't aim to replace the physical feel that you can get with this. We aim to accompany it because, you got these nice little squares, but it doesn't truly show you what you're buying. And everybody
Mm,
knows the home is everyone's most important purchase.
yeah.
So by integrating our software, they can fully visualize a real floor plan, not just a generic one, but the actual floor plan the buyer is getting. And that just shuts down so much design time and it saves them so much as far as upgrades as well in the long haul.
Interesting. Okay, so I've been through one of these sessions before as I bought a new home that was built and it did last forever. So I'm just thinking about how taking it from that abstract, I'm holding the tile in my hand, I'm looking at it in very different ways, and I'm sitting there trying to see it inside the house that I'm building that's 50 miles from where I was actually at the center. I can see how powerful this tool would be for someone to be able to see it right in front of them, especially, I mean, in the end buyer world, not everybody can visualize a real estate
No,
space. Not everybody can fill it in their mind that easily. So
it's
for
very
the
hard.
what have you found from your users? What are they finding, uh, how do I say it, revolutionary about the product? Because it sounds like you're one of the first ones, if not the first one to bring this out.
That's correct. It is a patent pending technology. But what to answer your question, our initial adopters, what they're really raving about is the time saving off the bat. Because again, the national standard for a production home is maybe 4 to 6 hours as far as the design studio phase. We're seeing that our adopters are seeing 62 minutes. So that's about a 75% reduction. Now,
Wow.
everybody knows that the upgrades, like you get a standard door or you could pay $3,000 for an extra door. I bring that one up because my brother, he had a real conundrum with that one. But long story short, the issue he had was he couldn't see the actual door on his home for him to validate the upgrade. Because this is an actual floor plan with the actual selections from the home builder, you can see it. So they're seeing an additional upgrade, about 25% uptick in their upgrades as well. And above all, I think what may be the most valuable is the construction rework has been minimized. Because then, you could do everything perfect on the front end. You could write down all the changeovers perfect, but in the end, the construction team may put in the wrong cabinets. And because our system is fully 3D, it takes the whole guessing game out of everything. The construction team has the 3D model the buyer made, the buyer has the 3D model they made. When the keys get handed over, everybody's on the same accord.
Man, so it's not just affecting it from being able to get more of your buyers through your process. So it's following all the way into the construction phase as well. So you're not just
That's
knocking
correct.
time off. And time is money in our business for sure, especially if you're a high level builder that's putting out a lot of units a year. Getting
Mhm.
people through this is really important.
That's correct. That's correct. We aim for to streamline everybody's process. That's what we do at Torian Tech.
How have you heard any feedback on the people that are the buyers themselves? How are they interacting with the product and responding to it?
So we've got a lot of great critical acclaim from the buyers themselves because they're the ones going through the process. They a lot seeing less buyer fatigue is what they describe it after being there for so long and going through the options. A lot of them say that, before they seen some technology like this, they were letting the actual design team just kind of pick their options just to kind of get through with it. So
Uh,
by giving them a full visualization, I believe this is the best buyer's experience when it comes to buying a home, and their acclaim is saying the same.
If you're looking for consistent, high quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
that's interesting, man, because I can see it again. I'm just reflecting back on my own experience through that of being able to see, having that in your hand, and then even going and checking the house later. If you get a 3D printout of it and you can walk through it, because that's what we went through. We had quite a few change orders that added massive amounts of time to the process where
Yep.
when you're building a house, it already takes long enough. You're 6 to 8 months no matter what, and those
Yep.
little things at the end, that starts to really ride into the what's the buyer, where are they living now? How do they get from where they are to the home? When's it actually gonna be done? So it seems like it cuts some stress out there too.
Yeah, all the anticipation that gets built up with, building a home because it's such a big decision. So why leave it up to the imagination and chance?
Now, who have you found that's really benefiting company-wise from this style of product? Who is it that really seems like that good fit?
So for this, we like to think that the 30 and up production home builder are perfect for this because anybody who builds less than that, they're more on the purely custom side and they don't mind spending 2, 3 days, maybe months with their buyer getting everything perfect. Our software is perfect for anybody who's got floor plans and you just build different variations of that floor plan with different interior selections.
Got you. So the person, they already have the plans built out. They know what they're doing. This is really to help fill the space inside, making sure that the buyer selects everything that they want in the home.
That's correct. It's for because a lot of builders they may be wanting to go toward the more semi-custom route now because in 2025 people are expecting more for their buck, and so this gives them the customer experience, the way of giving them more options without taking too much of your time. And what we're really finding a niche industry now is that when you're building from the ground up, like homes that aren't even made yet, this allows you to do it fully remotely before they even get there because this can be done fully within a web browser.
Wow. Okay, dig a little deeper there. What's that mean for the whole process?
So by I mean in a web browser, I mean just like how we're streaming online right now, you don't need any special software, you don't need any special tech skills, you don't need any special computers to run it. You can actually pull it up with your client being in another state. Like for instance, in Huntsville, we've got Space Command coming down from Colorado. So they've got tons of people on the market shopping, but they can't pull the trigger until they actually get here. But if you were to integrate this into your system, you could fully do the design phase before they even left their last state.
Interesting. So that cuts off a lot of time, money, and just expense when it comes to the buyer themselves. So getting through that phase where I can't get out there yet. I don't want to be sight unseen technically, but
Yeah,
this lets you really be involved in that process then.
that's correct. And you would hate for your client to get all the way down here and then see somebody else, see another builder and think, oh, that's a little bit more interesting. So why not do them a service and give them the best customer experience?
That's true. Cause I mean, in that phase, you're still not completely locked in. People can back out of new construction quite late into the process. So I like the idea of how it gives them more of a custom feel
Yeah.
inside a world that's not so custom, right?
Yeah.
It's you can kind of feel like you're getting run through the factory in one of those things a little bit.
Oh
And
yeah.
this creates that user experience. What have you seen in terms of getting people to buy into it? Because if it's new, that user adoption's a big deal. What kind of hurdles do you overcome in there?
It is tough. I mean, with any new product, because we don't technically have any direct competitors, the closest thing that we have is a competitor that has static images. It's more of like a 360 view, nothing that you can change. So, I mean, they're pretty big. I don't want to mention them, but they're well known within the builder space. but not within the pre-construction space. And people who do pre-construction, they see the flaws of the current state of the art. So to answer your question, the real challenge I find is just getting people to be aware of what it is and then also see how it could work for their own floor plans.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Interesting. Okay. So you specifically mentioned that pre-construction phase. For someone that's listening that may end up using this later, what is
Yeah.
that? What exactly are you talking about there?
Sure. So pre-construction, maybe you live out in a nice, or I'm not gonna say you, maybe you live in an area and you notice that they've leveled out like a whole area that looks like it's going to be a neighborhood. You could tell they probably put some mailboxes up, maybe some driveways. And what a production builder or a spec builder, they are people who are in charge of that. They know that they're going to put 10, 20, 30 homes there. They just may not have sold those homes yet. And so their whole business model is to do the development, find the buyer later, and that's why they call it pre-construction.
Got you. Okay. So this is, you're looking at that builder. You've been driving around. There's a big piece of property. All of a sudden, there was a sign there. There's no sign there. There's stuff being cleared out. It looks like something's happening. That kind of builder is who's going to be into this product.
That's correct. That's correct.
Man, that is, it's, you don't hear about stuff like this very often, especially, and this is something I like about real estate is how niche down it gets.
Yeah.
It's such a big term when you say real estate where
Yeah.
there's service provider room, there's the builders themselves, there's all these little facets that go into somebody's business being successful.
Mhm.
Have you been able to show with your current customers, besides just the time reduction, have you been able to show either a increase in how much they're selling in their upgrades? Does it help do that? And then overall getting people through the system?
That's correct. We have been reported they've got a 25% upgrade or 25 increase in their upgrades. And a lot of them, they love that because that's kind of their last chance to make any revenue on the deal. And so it's a win-win for everybody in the situation.
That's significant, 25% more upgrades. And it makes sense because when someone can see it, like we were talking about earlier, for that person that struggles to see it, they're not as likely to come
No,
off that money because it doesn't make sense at that point. But if you can
no.
put it in front of them, one, it creates again that more custom feel for their house, but it makes more bottom line revenue for the builder itself.
Yep. Everybody feels like they got a good deal when they walked away because, that's important. You want them to feel that way. So if they buy a house in the future, maybe they choose you to do the same process again.
That's true. I mean, it's very expensive to get customers. That's what we all learn in business. Very
Mhm.
expensive. You want to keep one as long as you can. And in that, real estate can be super transactional in a way because average person doesn't move what's every 5 years, somewhere in there is about when they're going
Exactly.
to do it. So delivering an experience that's so solid, because as someone who's built a brand new home, you want another one.
Yeah.
You like living in brand new stuff. It's kind of a good feeling. Like you're the first one ever been there, and so being able to lock in on that experience where it would stick that long, it seems like it'd be help with that.
Yeah. I agree with that as well.
Man. So what is your next plan? How do you plan on getting this out to more people?
Sure. So as of recently, I've been hiring regional growth partners, just different people in different areas so they have large pre-construction markets. And I'm teaching them the game and they're helping me expand. It's all about a networking game now. I understand that, reaching the right people. And so we're still analyzing the market, making sure everything is crisp and clean, getting feedback from our current clients to see how we can improve because that's what software is all about, constant
Mhm.
improvement. So whenever we do sync that, 500,000 home a year type client, we want to make sure it's got the best possible product and everything is aligned and well.
Yeah, because that's who a streamline for is. It seems like that person that's operating, it's built, and they're
Mhm.
looking to add a new layer of service and upsell that didn't exist before.
That's correct. I mean, we really think this is great for anybody who you really spend so much, or you churn out a lot of homes. That sounds capitalistic, but if you think about it, if the
All that.
average design center time takes 4 to 6 hours, I mean, you can really only service 2 people per day, and that's with sending your workers home on overtime. So if you know that you're sending people in and out of the door, this is definitely the kind of software that you need.
Well, I agree. Yeah, because if you're in a production builder, numbers are your game. You're
Numbers
trying
are
to
your
build as
game.
many as you can. You're not like you were talking about before, those more custom builders, they're not trying to build the big business. That's not
No.
their goal in general, just as a person. So what I like is that you've got a good niche. You have an idea of exactly who that target is, and you're leaning more into that regional support to branch it out. What have you been finding the most success there to branch out with?
I've been finding out that attending the local builders associations, it's crazy that I've even like thinking about this kind of stuff because I never would have like 5 years ago. But community opening ceremonies, I went to one of those not too long ago. That was crazy. But there's different ways to just kind of tap in with your local community and find people that do real estate. And you don't always have to be on the sales tip, but once you people, what I found is once I've explained what it does, the value add is almost instant. And so people
Mhm.
naturally just kind of want to learn more. And it's also about finding the right people to talk to because obviously salesmen don't have the right kind of power to integrate new technology systems into the mass corporation, but that comes along with the time.
It does, man. It proves something it's true with all business, but especially real estate business. It's relationship driven.
That's
It
it.
really matters who you know, it matters who you're talking to, and unless you get out there and talk to them, it's not gonna happen by accident. And that's
No.
a space where I see a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners where they're good at the one part, but that other part, they think, okay, people should just come find this now. And it's
No.
that other side where you typically find this harder than building the software itself, I'd imagine, because
a
one is a
thousand
strength
percent
skill set, and then the other one's leaning into something that you just said. You'd never guessed you'd be at a builders association meeting.
No, you're 1,000%. Just going into this, I do feel like developing it was so much easier than bringing it to market. And you do have those expectations when you're finally done with it, especially when you're so hands on it with it, with it as myself. You think like, oh, they're going to be the first ones. They're going to be the first ones. But business doesn't work like that. You just learn to take it as the journey and love the journey as it comes.
It is, man. Embrace the hard too, because that's the part that gets a lot of people is when the real hard hits, when you're
Yeah.
especially in those early times when more's on your plate than you're good at, and
Yeah.
it's not about being the best at that thing, it's about getting that part done and pushing yourself through it. Those are the people I tend to find that are successful.
Mm.
And I used to sell software in a past life, and one thing I
Okay.
learned then is it constantly has if you're not upgrading it, it doesn't you gotta keep doing it.
That's right.
People like to keep seeing what are you adding to it? How's it making it better? So how do you see on the future in terms of your product growth? Are there any exciting things coming?
Yes, actually, I'm glad you asked me that. So, one thing I want to focus on is servicing the renovator space. Because as I've been marketing, trying to get to the right consumer, I've had a lot of feelers from people that do renovations, but for them, it's a little bit different. Their floor plans change constantly versus where we might, when we onboard a client, we're going to digitize their top 3 floor plans off rip. But with a renovator, they never know what kind of bathroom or kitchen they're walking into. And so
Mm.
what I want to do is I want to make a software that it'll probably be AI driven, but it'll analyze a photo and give them as close of a 3D SketchUp as possible to what we've got going on right now. It won't be as similar, but it'll help them also sell more upgrades and streamline their own process to help their buyer know what the finish line is going to look like.
Another huge niche in the space, the ones that are fixing the house after. And yeah, so solving that issue of how do I get the floor plan in, you do that. Cause now you're running into a friend of mine owns a couple friends that own those kind of companies. And getting customers in front of what they're gonna put in the home is
Yeah.
one of the hardest parts. You're right back into that design studio trying to get them to see, okay, this is what it's gonna look like. This is what you're
hmm
gonna feel and experience when you're home.
That's true. So, it took me a while to come to those terms that that's another service to offer, but it's one that I definitely want to, provide before the third quarter of 2026.
Excellent, man. And they run hand in hand. You've already built what it seems like is most of it, just making that slight alteration to include that next group. So it gives you it's a different vertical inside of real estate and
Yeah,
way more stability. That's one thing we learned in this business is because there's so many, as you get one solved and figured out, well, sometimes the market shifts and
yeah.
having that next piece to land on. Man, that's
Uh,
fascinating. So, Tony, if someone wanted to talk to you about this, where's the best place they can find you? How can they reach out to you?
Sure. So I'm really responsive on the Torian Tech Instagram, but obviously you can go to toriantech.com. We got a product page for the program Treehouse there, and I will be making a separate like whole website for Treehouse. That's the name of the 3D software, and just look out for that coming soon. But if you find Torian Tech online, tons of ways to get in contact.
Awesome, man. Well, perfect. Listen, I appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective, what you're doing in the space. I think we need more people thinking innovative like this and coming up ways to make these things we've done for a long time better, right?
Thank
Getting
you.
that whole experience to a next level. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, please subscribe, like this episode. You'll find Torian's information in the description below. We've got more conversations coming up with
It's
operators
okay.
just like Tony who are out there building real businesses in the real estate space. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.